I didn't pick a lot of stuff lately, but I did pick a couple of cool stuff that I want to share with you guys, so yeah, this is going to be a pickups video. And greetings YouTube gamers, welcome to another episode of Retro Reader. My name is Johnny Retro and welcome to the channel. If you're new on the channel, guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss a thing. So like I said, guys, I didn't pick a lot of stuff, but I did pick a couple of interesting stuff that I want to share with you guys. So we have a little bit of video games here, we have a book, and we also have toys, but I will leave that to the end of the video. So let's take a closer look at my recent pickups right after this. Okay, so let's start with the book, and here is the thing, guys. I'm not a big of a reader. I actually used to read a lot back in the day when I was a kid. I used to read a lot of comic books, but I've always been a huge fantasy fan. And funny enough, my passion for RPGs actually started through books. And this book is kind of an RPG. It is one of those, pick your adventures type of books, and it is called Dark Siege. So I got this book in a very random way, actually. I got some new glasses and I was waiting for my turn at the store to get my new glasses. Yeah, these glasses, but I don't know if they count as a pickup. So anyhow, I had an appointment at the doctor. I was waiting for the new glasses and while I was waiting, I went to a thrift store. I was just browsing, killing time. I was not planning to get anything, but I did spot a huge shelf with a bunch of books, and each book was €1. So yeah, I spotted this one, Dark Siege, and I just said, why not? So this book, apparently, it follows the story of Tholin, which is a fearful general warrior. His whole family died, and he pretty much has to save his homeland. And like I said, this is one of those choose your adventures type of books, so it pretty much functions as an RPG, if you will. You have fights, you have rules, stuff like that. You also have a couple of cool illustrations right here. Let me show you guys in a bit. There's one right here, another one right here. So I still haven't read this one yet, but the true reason why I picked this book was because it reminds me a lot of an old franchise that I used to love back when I was a kid. I don't know if you guys remember, but I'm talking about fighting fantasy. It was called Aventuras Fantásticas here in Portugal. And these books, were heavily inspired in Dungeons and Dragons. And I mean, these books are just amazing. And right here, it is pretty much the same concept as fighting fantasy. I definitely need to make a full video about fighting fantasy. I have pretty much all of the books that were released here in Portugal. And you have a variety of adventures, within a medieval fantasy setting. Also a couple of sci-fi futuristic ones. You also have horror, I believe, and those books were just, amazing, awesome stories, very simple mechanics, very cool characters. I mean, they were literally my introduction to RPGs. Let me know on the comment section below, guys, if you remember fighting fantasy from back in the day. And also let me know what you guys think about me making a full video of my fighting fantasy books collection. So yeah, this Dark Siege book, to me it seems a little bit more childish compared to fighting fantasy. But yeah, it was €1 and I had to have it. So let's put the book aside and talk about games. I only picked 2 games recently, one for the NES and one PC game, but let's start with the NES game. I've only played this game once and it was on emulation, and I finally have it on my collection, and this is Parasol Stars, also known as Rainbow Islands 2. I got an awesome deal on this game thanks to a friend. And here's the thing, guys, we all know that collecting for the NES these days, it is just not what it used to be. And I don't have the biggest NES collection, but I got lucky when I started. But the thing was that, when it was cheap to collect for the NES, I was looking for, other stuff. I was building other collections. So I kinda started late on the NES, and it's hard for me to get bundles. And when I do, or what I do usually, is that I get big bundles and I keep what I want for my collection and I just sell the rest. So that's how I got this game. I got this game through a bundle, and the rest of the bundle pretty much paid the whole bundle and also paid for this game. And you guys know I really don't like to talk about, the prices of games, and I'm not afraid to say it. I am a reseller. You guys know that I work at a vintage store, we have retro video games there, I also work at flea markets, but let's face it, I think that is the reality for every one of us that collect, and especially for the ones that collect on a tight budget. We all have bills to pay, we all have to put food on the table, and we just do this as a hobby. So that's why we buy bundles, and we resell the stuff that we don't want, or we use it as trades. And that's how we can pay for, for our collections. So yeah, I just wanted to say this, guys. I don't know about you, but me personally, I don't throw, family's money into my retro gaming collection. But anyhow, I was waiting for a nice deal on this one, and I finally got it. So this game is kind of a sequel to Bubble Bubble on the NES. I'm definitely not an expert on the franchise. As a matter of fact, I don't own the original Bubble Bubble on my NES library. I played a lot of Bust a Move, Puzzle Bubble on the arcades. I also have a couple of Bust a Move games on the PS1. Those games I know, those games I grew up with, those games I love. Now, the original Bubble Bubble on the NES, like I said, I don't have it on the collection. I did play it on the NES Classic. Is it a good game? Yeah, I guess. Not my type of game, I must admit. But we can say that it is a classic. This one, however, it is a sequel. Pretty much the same type of game, but I prefer this one. I actually like this one a lot. I think it has better gameplay, it has better graphics, and the whole atmosphere of the game. I mean, it is a great game. And yeah, if you never played Parasol Stars, and if you managed to score one for a nice deal, I mean, just pick it up. Now, this next one, I'm very excited with this one, guys. First of all, this was a very unusual pick for me, because we're talking about a big box PC game. I used to play a lot of PC games back in the early 2000s, but I've always been a console gamer. Video game consoles is where my heart is. But let me tell you guys, this game blew my mind back in the day, and it is by far one of my favorite video games of all time. And I would dare to say that it is probably my favorite PC game of all time. I finally got a 100% completed in box version of Darkstone Evil Reins. Now, this game also got a release on the PS1, but here's the thing. The PS1 version of the game just sucks. And when I think about Darkstone Evil Reins, of course that I think about the PC version. That's the original one, that's the one that I grew up with, that's the one that I was looking for to my collection. Now, here's the thing. This one is actually a rare game to get, completed in box for the PC. But it is one of those cases where it is rare, but it is not expensive. It is actually, pretty cheap, pretty affordable to get. The PS1 version, though, a little bit more expensive, but again, if you want to play Darkstone, just go with the PC version. So, I got this on an eBay auction, and I was the only one bidding on the game. And I ended up paying more for the shipping than for the actual game. In total, I think it was around 20 euros or less than that. Again, with shipping included. So yeah, enough about that. What is Darkstone all about? Probably one of my very first experiences with dungeon crawler RPGs was with the original Diablo game. And the original Diablo was mind-blowing back in the day. It was a revolutionary game indeed. Still to this day, I think that that game is a masterpiece. It was not the OG on the genre, but it definitely was a very important milestone or a very important game in the dungeon crawler genre. And after the huge success of Diablo, there were, a lot of clones. And I hate to admit it, but Darkstone kinda is a clone of the original Diablo game. And a lot of you are going to hate me for this, but I have to be honest here. I honestly prefer Darkstone to Diablo. Part of that is because of nostalgia, I must admit that. And I'll admit, this game didn't age very well, but it is one of those games that it is so cheesy that is good, in my opinion. So you can pick a bunch of different characters in Darkstone. Each character has a different class, and although you have 8 different characters, they're kind of the same when it comes to, the male and the female. For example, you have the warrior and you have the Amazon, or you have the thief and the assassin, stuff like that. But the cool thing about Darkstone is that you can actually pick 2 characters and play with 2 characters at the same time. Now, usually one is the treasure carrier, but it is still cool. And the premise of the game is very simple. You need to find the 7 crystals in order to save the land from the evil wizard Drek. You go through different lands, you have a bunch of quests, a bunch of side quests, and it is actually pretty basic, not a lot of backstory into Darkstone, but these type of games, it all comes down to, the mechanics and the grind. Because there's a lot of grind within Darkstone. It's all about going through the same dungeons over and over again, and build up your characters in order to beat the game again and again in higher levels. Another thing that brings me a lot of nostalgia with Darkstone is actually the soundtrack. The CD of the game actually had a built-in music video for you guys to watch of the original soundtrack of the game. I'm going to butcher her name because my French sucks. The beautiful Darkstone Won't Shine song by the French singer Autran. I actually got in touch with her on Facebook, and she still sings this song. But I will leave that to another video, guys, because Darkstone Evil Reins is going to turn 30 years old very soon. And I really can't wait for that, because I have a big video planned for that. And yeah, this game, guys, you know, this to me is a big part of my childhood. Let me just show you guys really quick. This is actually the French version of the game, the French release. But it's okay because the game plays in English. Here you guys can see the back of the box, Darkstone here on the side. And this one is actually in a very good condition. Like I said, you know, these are getting hard to get. And here where we have the manual, of course. And we also have the game right here. Actually, it needs a little bit of cleaning, but overall, it's in a very good condition, and it is complete. Now, if you guys want to play Darkstone, it's also available on Steam, and there's also a version for Android smartphones. So yeah, to sum this one up, guys, you know, it is not the best game in the world. It didn't got, you know, a lot of positive reviews. It didn't sold very well, but again, to me, Darkstone is all about nostalgia, and once again, it is a very important game from my childhood. And let me know on the comment section below if you played Darkstone back in the day. Now, last but not least, I have a couple of toys to share with you guys. And these are Holy Grails. You guys know I've already mentioned this in a couple of previous videos. This year, I started a brand new collection, a toy collection. A collection of my favorite toy line of all time, the Mighty Max toy line. And last month, I got very lucky because I did pick 2 Holy Grails of the Mighty Max set. Out there to say that these one of the most sought out Mighty Max items out there, you know, for Mighty Max collectors. And to me, they are the best of the whole line. A lot of you guys are going to remember this one. First of all, I picked Skull Mountain, the biggest Mighty Max playset. This set is beautiful, this set is amazing. I didn't have this one when I was a kid. I only had the small ones. You know, the small ones are probably the ones that most of you will remember. But, you know, this was amazing. Like I said, this one is huge. A lot of different features. First of all, we have a Mighty Max figure right here. You guys are not going to see a lot, but, you know, I'm going to make future videos only about Mighty Max. Here, you know, a little bit of a close-up here on the back. And the reason why this set is called Skull Mountain is because, as you guys can see right here, it is a mountain, but in the shape of a skull, if you will. You have the eyes right here, you have the mouth, the nose, and by the way, this one is 100% complete. I also have the box right there, but due to the lack of space, you know, I'm just going to show you the actual playset. And here we have it on the inside, and I mean, how cool is that? Let me just set it up together. Yeah, I'm going to make a mess right here, but you know, this set is awesome. Like I said, guys, I'm going to make a future video only about Mighty Max. Okay, here I am in front of the camera again. So we have a Mighty Max figure. We also have this monster right here, this crazy monster shark, if you will. What else? We have a lot of moving parts, like a bridge right here. Here we have an elevator. We have a bunch of different characters. This one is a 2-headed dragon. We have this crazy monster crab here on the bottom that also moves. We have a couple of fireballs. Let me take these ones because these are easy to get lost. Right here we have a couple of more bad guys. Here we have a rock monster, a monster turtle right here, one of the main villains of the set, Warmonger, and the main villain himself, Skullmaster. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this particular version, you know, this particular model of Skullmaster, but they ended up changing it. So yeah, I know that this is overwhelming, this is a lot to take in, but I just had to show this to you guys. And like I said, guys, I'm planning to make future videos only about Mighty Max sets. I'm going to make full reviews, and I'm going to show you guys, you know, a lot of close-ups, a lot of the stuff that you can do with the playset. But in this video, I just wanted to show it as a pickup. But this was not the only Mighty Max Holy Grail that I got. So yeah, just let me take this out of the way, because yeah, putting this back together is also part of the fun. Okay, so here's the next one. Like I said, most of you guys are going to remember the smaller sets, you know, the smaller Mighty Max sets. Actually, just let me grab one really quick. This one, for example, see right here? This is probably the ones that you guys remember. And the Mighty Max was the boy version of Polly Pocket. A monster on the outside, you open it up, and you have a little play set on the inside. Right here. You get a Mighty Max, a bunch of different figures, a villain, and that was it. And the one that I've shown you previously, Skull Mountain, those were the bigger playsets. And these bigger playsets were kind of the, you know, the final battle or the biggest adventure within that unit, within that set. So this next one, this other Holy Grail, is another big playset. And by far, my favorite playset of the Mighty Max toy line. And it is also another one that I didn't have back when I was a kid. I wanted one, but my parents, you know, couldn't afford one. So yeah, finally, at the age of 31, I finally have Dragon Island. Look at this playset. Look at this awesome, beautiful, crazy playset. This has to be one of the best toys ever made. I really hope that you guys can see it. So this one opens a little bit differently. First of all, we take this part aside right here. Then we open the top. Let me just take this piece. This part opens like this. Okay. And the back opens like this. And here you have it. Really hope that you guys can see a little bit of close-up right here. You can also open the front of this one and it reveals another monster. And you also have lights within this one. I mean, how cool is that? So again, these larger play sets were kind of the, you know, the last adventure or the end battle of a specific series. And with that, of course, you get a bigger area and a lot of different monsters. First of all, the Mighty Max figure. The one that I got with this one was this one right here. And just a little comparison, because Skull Mountain was part of Series 1, and Mighty Max on Series 1, as you guys can see right here, had this, you know, childish look, while this was part of Series 2, and Mighty Max is a little bit older, pretty much like a, you know, a teenager. And not only you get Mighty Max, but you also got the rest of the gang, you know, the good guys. Because Mighty Max had two sidekicks. The brain of the party, Virgil, right here. He looks like a chicken, but he's actually a fowl. And my personal favorite, the muscle, Norman. Okay, so let's put these guys right here. They're hanging out. They're happy. Bad guys, first of all, we got this evil witch doctor, sorcerer, lizard guy. Then we got a different lizard guy right here. We got a lagoon monster that does this. We got a raft for the party to escape. We got Schoolmaster, the ones that you guys probably remember from the TV series. Right here, the evil dude himself. And again, guys, a quick comparison, like I told you, this revised version of Schoolmaster is way cooler than the original one. Last but not least, we have this awesome dragon, which has a bomb attached to it, but that's part of the story of the playset. A little bit of a close-up of the actual dragon. I mean, this is badass. And again, I really hope that you guys can see it. Another close-up of the actual playset. And again, guys, this by far, it truly is my favorite set of the Mighty Max franchise. And it is the coolest toy that I have. Forgot to say that we also have these missiles, and these are very, very easy to lose because they're fire really fast. There goes one. Here goes the other one. Yeah, now I have to look for them. Got it. Got him. Whew. Here they are. So, like the previous one, Skull Mountain, I also got this one 100% complete in box. Again, due to the lack of space, I have the box over there. Again, I will leave that to a future video. And there you go, guys, this was the video. You know, not a lot of picks, but I definitely got some very cool stuff for my collection. We got a couple of video games, we got a book, and we got awesome Mighty Max toys. And feel free to let me know on the comment section below what recent items did you guys add to your collections lately. Did you get some brand new video games? Did you get some retro video games? Did you get toys? Let me know what stuff do you guys collect. If you guys want to support the show, feel free to check out the Retro Raiders Patreon page. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to put a like on this video, please subscribe to the channel, and take care of yourselves, take care of the gaming community, and game a lot.